Hi everyone, it's Diane with Boho Stamper. Welcome back for some more paper crafting fun this Friday. I am in need of a couple Father's Day cards for this weekend. I'm actually doing my video here Wednesday afternoon, but I'm pretty sure that my sons are going to ask me very soon if I have any Father's Day cards ready. So I need to get that done. And I am using today, it's actually a retired stamp set from Stampin' Up. I'm going to use Geared Up Garage because my hubby loves old cars and garages and all the bits and pieces. And even though that's retired, Stampin' Up has a new suite out called He's the Man. And it does have some things, it actually has a lot of variety in the stamp set. It has some of the antique car stamps. It has grilling. It has sports, camping, everything you need. So, but if you're like me and this is just a couple of days before Father's Day, you're probably not going to be able to order that in time. No, unless you do, well, no, this is, yeah, for Friday. I don't know if you would be able to order it and have it delivered quickly enough or not. But anyway, so maybe you have another Father's Day set that you like. I've also kept, I've kept several of my stamp sets. Best Catch was the fishing one. That's one that I'll probably not ever part with either. And then I have another one with what's it called? You're a Classic, maybe. I don't know what the name of it was. It has an old classic car on it, which is what my hubby actually is really into. He likes old cars, but anything to, if it has a motor and wheels, he's pretty interested in it. It's got to do with ink and paper. He doesn't care. So we're even up there, right? So if you have any questions about anything I'm using today, just give me a holler there. You can always email me and I will try to find out what I can for you. So I also like to do fun full cards. And when I'm doing that, I usually go to Jan B because she has, I like how Jan always gives measurements in metric and imperial so that we can adapt our cards. She's a demonstrator in the UK, and we can adapt her instructions to make those in the United States. So the one that I had found that she was making was a shadow box card that she learned how to do from Jennifer McGuire. So I watched both. I watched Jan B's and I watched Jennifer McGuire's video, and the pop-up shadow box cards seemed easy enough to do, so that's what we're going to do today. I wanted to show you that it does fold down and fits into just a standard envelope. It's going to make a 4 1/4 by a 5 1/2 inch card. And what happens is when you take this out of the envelope, if one of us went and got glue on the back, oh, there it is. I couldn't figure out where I had the extra glue. It's the dimensional on the back of my Happy Father's Day. I gotta put a piece of paper over that. And this pops up and makes a little shadow box. Cool, cool. And then you just squish it back down to put it back in the envelope, or it will stand up. So one reason that we make, we should make, we don't always have time or do it, make prototypes or practice cards, is because we learn from that. And there, so many times we've done cards on here and I've changed things up a little bit because I wasn't happy with how something worked out with my original card. I'm going to stick this on the back of my dimensional and hopefully it will quit sticking to my little gears that I have there. It's too big. So the one thing that I decided on this card was my circles that I used on the front. that should stop that from sticking. My original card here, I just used my stitch shapes, and I used circles. I used the largest circle for the green, and then the next to the largest circle for the red to cut those out. But I felt like they were too small of circles, and they made all of my elements on the inside of the shadow box there seem very, very tight and squished. So I went back and I just pulled out my layering circles, and you can use squares, circles, ovals, whatever you have. Actually, I was going to use squares until my designer paper in the background there had all of the little dashboard gadgets, and they were all round, and I decided to go with a circle. So the next one I'm going to do with you, set this up here aside so I can watch and see what all I was doing and see if I skip any steps. I'm going to try not to skip any steps. I pulled out those other circles because they're larger, and I have this one taped on here on my red already so that I can show you what we're going to do. Off camera, I used the coordinating die with this set and cut out a bunch of the gears. And I think the gears were probably one of my favorite elements of the stamp set. I just love it. Even if you don't need it for cars, if you're a journaler or a scrapbooker, these are great if you're doing sort of a steampunk themed project. So I cut a bunch of these gears out of silver metallic paper, silver foil paper, and then off camera, I just used some alcohol ink and my my blending tool, and just rubbed it over top of those to give them a little bit more of a grungy or dirtier look. Because if your guys like mine, the dirtier the better. You know, if these were nice and shiny, they probably wouldn't catch his eye, but I made him look a little bit oily and grungier. I think that he will appreciate that more. Oh, I should have done that to, geez, I wasn't even thinking. I should have taken my little wrench over and done that too with alcohol ink and grunge stuff. That's all right. We'll pretend it's a brand new one that we're giving him for Father's Day. Ah, what else was I going to tell you about that? Can't remember. Don't remember. Okay, so I selected my colors. I'm using just basic black and real red. And we need 2 panels. Ooh, I didn't give myself much room. I moved my camera and everything forward here a little bit. So these 2 panels are going to be 6 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, so here's my 5 1/2 and 6 1/4. On the 6 1/4 inch side, and there is absolutely no room in my craft room. This is amazing. I'm doing too many projects at one time, and I'm not getting anything done. Oh my goodness. Okay, so on the 6, because that is my problem, right? 6 1/4 inch side, we're going to score, and you can use your scoreboard or your trimmer. But make sure you're using your scoring blade and not your cutting blade. I'm going to score at 1/2 of an inch and 1 inch. And I did try to do some of these elements ahead of time here so that I wouldn't have to shake the camera up too much. I'm going to rotate my paper the whole way around and score again at 1/2 an inch and 1 inch. I'm doing this to both panels. I'm going to use the black as my back panel. The red is my front panel. Okay. So I did score the red one already so that it would not shake us again. Oh, I do have to cut that one out. Okay. So then on each of these panels, we're folding back on the 1 inch score line and then forward on the 1/2 inch score line. Give them a nice little crease. love doing fun folds. And we do so many with flowers and things like that it's kind of fun to be able to do one with something more masculine, you know. And I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just saying these are card parts, and personally I'm not into cards, but I appreciate their beauty. But that's about it for me. Okay. My son's, well, my youngest son especially, loves cars also, and him and his dad will be talking about, oh, look, that's just like your CRV, except the wheels or whatever, and they all hold a tire, so that's all I need to worry about, as long as it goes around. This was some coordinating designer series paper that was available at the time of this release. I need to trim this piece just a little bit more. Our inside is going to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 now that we've made those fold marks. So this needs to be just a little less than 4 1/4 and 5 1/2 so that it fits inside. That's better. And it will lie flat. So I chose a piece of paper that has like little tire marks on it. And you know what? When I fold that down, it still puckers just a tiny bit. I think I'm going to take off another little scotia paper there. So hope everybody's doing well and that you get to spend this weekend with your family again. Or if you have loved ones, and just get to spend some time with the people that you enjoy being around. Yes. Okay, better. So now my front panel is the red, and I've already scored it. I didn't fold it yet because I do want to die cut this circle out. So I took the largest circle and laid it on the front panel, and I think I have it up a little bit more towards the top, which is good because that'll give me room to put my greeting here down on the bottom. But here's a little tip. When you're going to add washi tape or something to hold your dies on, if you have your tape on the die and you stick it to the part that's not going to be on your card, that way if your washi tape happens to stick a little bit too much and tears it, it wouldn't tear the part of the card that you're going to be able to see. So when I take my die off of here and I take that washi tape with it, it'll be that inside part that I'm cutting out. Now that's great because I'll keep that inside circle for another project, but should it happen to tear my paper, at least it's not going to ruin my card. Sorry for the shake up. Just making sure you're all awake. So now when I take this off, if this tape sticks, it's not ruining my card. But that's good. So there's a nice circle that I can keep for maybe a Christmas card. I also took a basic black panel and cut this down a little bit smaller, just like we did with the designer series paper. And I used the next smaller circle and cut the center out of this. And the reason I did that is because we have cut a very large section out of this paper and it might be just a little bit weaker. So I would want to maybe put something back here just to strengthen it. It's also going to give me a nice little frame. So if you line it up and just make sure that nothing's going to show, I think I'm okay up there. I might cut just a tiny little piece off that top so it doesn't stick out above my card base. That'll be good. Pencil. Oh, can't reach it. And then I'm just going to make a little mark so that I make sure I have this inside behind my red panel. I don't want to see it hanging out the bottom. Okay, moving right along. So this Stampin' die set, like I said, had some coordinating designer paper to go with it. So I did some fussy cutting ahead of time too. I did stamp one of the little gas cans and then used my alcohol blends and colored it in with red. But some of the paper had little oil cans and other gas cans and stuff. So I fussy cut those out because there's not a die for them. And the original card I made into more of a sports car. And some of the paper had some of the classics, and it's just in black and white. And I thought maybe I would just fussy cut this out and use one of these cars for hubby's because he likes the older stuff. So now my front panel, I've already scored that at 1/2 inch and 1 inch. I don't know if you can see my score lines. I just didn't fold it until I had my circle cut out. So I can fold my first mark back and my second mark forward. And just make a little Z fold or zigzag or accordion fold, whatever you want to call it. Same on the other side. Burnish them down a little bit so they will be a little bit flatter to work with, which is kind of weird because we're going to want the card to pop up. So because you see my circle so big, I would be able to see those fold marks, but when I put my matte piece behind it, we're not going to see them. Oh, yes, we are. Well, I'll fix that. Maybe we won't by the time we get, oh, we probably won't by the time we get done adding the elements. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Now, because it's a shadow box and I'm going to make some of the little pieces popping out here on the inside, I don't want to start gluing everything down real tight until I'm sure I know where I want everything to go and where I put my tape. So I'm just going to add a little bit of tape adhesive to the corners and line my front panel up so that my circular frame is kind of even. This is where it helps when it's not folded. And I kind of have an idea of how I want this card to look, so here's hoping I can accomplish that. Okay. And now we have our back piece. Our back piece has this designer series paper or pattern paper that needs adhered to the inside. And again, just get that centered up without those folds being in the way. Then we're going to, when all is said and done, these two little flaps on the outside are going to glue together. But before I do that, I kind of want to lay out how my design is going to be. I think on this one, because the car is a little larger, I'm going to have that go across the front here. I do want my gears. Love these gears. Great. And I like how I did it on the first card and tucked it down in between the mat and the front panel and then had it coming up across the front of the card. So I'm going to do that again. Like that. I'm going to have my cargo here. Cargo vroom vroom. when I lay this across the back, I want some of these gears in the background. I also want a couple of them to be dimensional. So, you know, I kind of, I think I've mentioned before that when we get our stamp sets and they're on this acetate, they have this layer of acetate on them, not to throw those away because you can use them for things just like this project, or when you're doing pop-up other, what are those called, wiper cards, things like that. So maybe this one I'm going to add a gas can and a gear on the inside, because I think what I tried to do was make sort of like a little collage type. Oh, I hear Sissy's belly over there growling. She's probably getting ready for her lunchie. Yeah. So I might make that my pop-up piece inside. Oh, listen to that belly. Are you starving, honey? And so I'm using two-sided tape. And I'll add that to a strip of this acetate. This acetate, I did cut it at about 3/4 of an inch, I think, a 3/4 inch strip, just because I want it to be large enough to hold my die cut elements here, or my fussy cut, whichever ones. But I don't really want it to be the most obvious picture back there. Right? So let's add some of these little things. And you can just decorate this up however you want with whatever set you happen to be using. This tape is tough, I'll tell you. It does stick because I really struggle sometimes to tear it. It's called tear tape, but I think that's for like a muscle man or something. No, it's not really that hard. I'm just a weakling. Whoops, come back here. Okay. So now, again, I don't have any of this stuff glued down yet because I wasn't sure where all it was going to go. Card back up here. That'll work good, good, good. Yes. Okay, so I can start adding some of the pieces. Let's add a little bit of glue down here on the bottom and tuck it down in the mat. I don't have a whole lot of glue on there yet because this one on top, that one behind, and that one on top. And I don't want it to hang over the edge of the card here because remember, we do have to fit it in an envelope. Okay. Now I can add some glue on that to hold it in place. What's the matter, honey? We're almost done. Yeah, you're all right. And I don't want to glue that down yet. I forgot. We have some little nuts and bolts. And so you can use Memento, Tuxedo Black ink. And did I put it away? I did. Or you can use Stays On. little scrap of paper because I did stamp this off the edge. What, honey? Do you have to go outside? Is your belly sick? Okay. Well, here's hoping the pause button worked. I never did that before. Oh, got her taken outside. Now I'm out of breath. And I'll probably have to pause again when she's ready to come in. Okay, so I did our little bolts here. Now I can, ooh, I didn't put my pin back in my glue. Oh, thank goodness it didn't clog up. And I don't think she's going to stay out there long. It is stifling out there. My goodness. I didn't realize it was, I mean, you can't even breathe. We do have a heat advisory in effect. Add our little oil can. All right, let's see. So we have this that's going to go behind. Our car will go here, and we need our Happy Father's Day. I was going to say, I don't know where my baby wipe is. But I think on this one, I'm going to stamp You're a Classic. So, let me see. This is one of the other things I changed because on this one, I have Happy Father's Day. And then on the back, I added my little message. Or you could leave this panel blank if you wanted to write something special. I guess I better get this stuff layered up first, and then I can figure out where I want to add my reading. So this is going to go here. We have those in the back. Oh, I can be able to see them over there. Goofball, they go over here. Where is my pen? Because that is starting to get a little dry, and that's my fault. Yep. Okay. I want these. So I can see them. Oh, you know what? I should have put You're a Classic on, well, I hope I, yeah, I did. I was going to say, I hope I scored those in the right places. That red was feeling just a little bit not the right size, but I think it's just the way I'm holding it. Okay, so our car's going to go here. Our gas cannon, our oil can, will go here. And I suppose I could make You're a Classic. Oh, you won't be able to see behind that big gear. I could do it on, well, I guess I better get it stamped first. Let's stamp it. Yep. we need to put those little baby together the rest of the way. Well, that's thick, good, because if I put this on another piece of that acetate, using the thick basic white is your best bet because it will just give you that little bit of support that you need. Somewhere along the lines here, I gotta finish making. Oh, I still have the third card to finish up for our workshop on Tuesday. All right. I think. Let's see. Let's just make a panel. What in the world? I'm just trying to straighten this up a tad and make it as narrow as I can without ruining it. Well, I am not the best at cutting strips. Oh, but I think I did all right there. Okay. And I know this part's off camera. I'm just trying to trim around my greeting there. You're a classic. All right, I think I need to put my car on now so I can see where everything else has to get lined up before we put our two panels together. And for our acetate piece, I will just use a piece of tape to hold that in place. I'm going to tape it onto Sure she is. Oh, and there's Sissy's ready. Well, let's hope this pause button's working. I'm back. Okay. Yes, I think so. I'm not happy with the white cardstock with my greeting on there because I don't have a whole lot of white on the card anywhere else, so I might change that. Let's get this side glued on here. Just going to use some liquid glue here and line up these two pieces first while I'm still contemplating how I want to do my greeting. I can trim off my Okay. Maybe if I put it on a black mat. Well, that might work, huh? Let's see. Let's give it a go. If not, think of something else, that's all. Now that can't possibly need a new blade. I just changed the blade on my trimmer the other day. I know I've made a lot of cards, but no, I don't need a new blade yet. I know I don't. Do I like it there? No, I don't. Do I like it up here? Can we see it through there? Excuse my head for a minute. Oh, get back over there. Oh, you can't really see it there either. Might have to go this way. That might work. Okay, alrighty. Okay, so let's glue this side down. Trying to line those sides up pretty even. So one time we really appreciate Tombow because it gives you just a couple seconds there to move stuff around. Let me look at it on screen. Oh, that's okay up there. Yeah, I think I don't like it down here. I think I like it better just with the red background. So I think I will pop that up with some foam dimensionals. Trying to get it on straight. To the card, not my finger. And look at the little pop-up! Woohoo! Yep. Flattens up to go in the envelope, and then it pops up when you take it out. You know what might be fun on here too? Yeah, she's digging in the box of trinkets again. Oh. Anything to get rid of this stuff. We're sticking them on everything. Yep, everything gets some bling. Oh my goodness, let's get rid of some of this stuff. We have those metallic, actually I have a couple things that might work. Let's see which one's going to look best. Sure she will. We have metallic adhesive back dots, and we had those little they were metallic too. These things, what are these called? Designer elements. They almost look like little nuts and bolt things, right? That might work. Oh, and here's the adhesive back brushed metallic ones. So, let's see. See which ones I like, and stick a couple of those in that on that background. Oh, that's going to be cool because you know what? It's more dimensional than the gears, but it's behind the ones that we already have on here. So I like this. I really do. I like how the alcohol ink kind of crunched up the metallic foil. I love the pop-up shadow box part. I like that we can add our little elements inside there and really get some dimension. So now all I have to do is add my panel on the back. See, you're a classic, and I was going to put Happy Father's Day on the back. All of these little things off the table, and I already had it out. And there, I still have to do one more for the other son in case they both need one, but this way too, if my daughter-in-law needs a card because her dad is also a car enthusiast. Oh, and so is her brothers, both brothers, I think. They do, I think it's a dirt track race? I don't know. They do more race cars. What? One of them is a father. I don't know if she gives him a card or not, but either way, there will be an extra if somebody needs it. Yay! What do you think? Fun little shadow box cards pop up. So thanks to Jan B and Jennifer McGuire for showing me how to make these little cards. This is fun. Yeah. All right, everybody, have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you back here on Monday at 10. Until then, thanks for being with me and have a wonderful day. Bye.